UNITA Inaugural Hospitality Adjunct Professor Talk. Before we proceed with the event, make sure please mute your microphone and turn off your videos. Okay, because we don't want any interruption to occur during the event is running. Thank you. Now, I would like to call upon Ustaz Encik Ahmad Imran bin Kamrul Zaman, Assistant Lecturer, UNITA College, for the recitation of doa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil mursalin ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka khallaqul azim, innaka sami'un alim, innaka ghafurur rahim, innaka rabbul arshil azim, innaka al-barul jawadul karim. Ya Allah, the compassionate and merciful, grant us peace and iman, safety and Islam, and guidance to perform all that you please. Ya Allah, the generous, the gracious, grant all goodness to Muslim and all blessing to the faithful and all mercies to mankind. Ya Allah, guide this ummah to do the best. Bless this ummah to be loving and compassionate. Help this ummah to spread good and peace to all mankind. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqna min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. ولا تجعل فينا ولا معنا شقيا ولا محروما برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين.
Unmute, Amri. Unmute.
Amin, amin ya rabbil alamin. Thank you very much, Ustaz. Thank you very much for the doa recitation. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Amri bin Ahmad, your moderator for today. I would like to thank all the participants today, I think from various places. It's good to join us on today's event. Now, without further delay, I would like to invite our Dean of UNITA, Professor Dr. Muhammad Hassan, to give his speech. So, without further ado, please welcome Prof. Hassan. Thank you.
Mute.
Unmute, Prof. Unmute, Prof.
Sorry, no. Sometimes you forgot you unmute. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good evening. Salam sejahtera to everyone here. Yang saya hormati di moderator Amri Ahmad, our senior lecturer at UNITAR. Yang berbahagia, our adjunct professor, Encik Muhammad Halim Marikan, board of member, Malaysian Association of Hotels. Our speaker, Encik Zaidi bin Udainis, President Malaysian Inbound Tourism Association, MITA. Mr. Christopher S. Raj, President Association of Hotel Employers, Area Director of HR, Shangri-La Hotel Resort. And of course, my very good friend, Tan Sri Saleh Makno. It's good to see you again, Tan Sri. It's been a long time. Thank you very much for inviting me to give this speech. And I'm sure most of you are not aware that I've just been appointed as the Dean, Tan Sri Saleh. I'm new here. Officially, actually, been here for the last 2 weeks. But I actually picked up my job as a Dean only 1 week ago after my contract completed at UITM. I was formerly from UTM. Tan Sri knows me very well. I was a former Dean of the UTM International Business School. Before that, I was the Deputy Vice Chancellor for University Malaysia Kelantan. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, to our esteemed guests of honor, our adjunct professors, and also to our audience and members of the university. Welcome all to the Faculty of Business and Technologies Adjunct Professors Inaugural Lecture in Hospitality. Today, we are here to commemorate another milestone in the history of Faculty of Business and Technology and the university, which is the appointment of Adjunct Professor in Hospitality. Some of you in the audience probably remember that we have recently welcomed our Adjunct Professors in Finance and Accounting. I was lucky because I just joined UNITA at that time. I was able to, I think this is my second welcoming speech. And now we are honored to welcome another distinguished gentleman into our faculty as Adjunct Professor. We are indeed excited at the prospect of connecting with renowned figure in the field of hospitality and look forward to leveraging on his knowledge, experience, and expertise for the benefit of the faculty members and students of UNITA. Dear audience, allow me to introduce our Adjunct Professor in Hospitality. Encik Muhammad Halim Marikan graduated from the Hotel Management School of La Roche, I hope I pronounced it right, Halim, in Switzerland, specializing in hotel management and food and beverage management. He has over 35 years of hospitality experiences, specializing in room, food and beverage, sales and marketing, revenue management divisions, and general management. Over the last 22 years, Encik Muhammad Halim has held senior management positions, which included corporate and senior management roles, and his vast knowledge and experience spread through international hotel brands such as Hilton, Hyatt, Pan Pacific, and Witham Hotels and Resort. These are all my favorite hotels. From those experiences, Encik Muhammad Halim started developing local talents and brands and has worked in the corporate capacity to develop the local brands such as Mutiara Hotels, which I stayed a few days before it was closed, Mutiara Hotels and Resort, Impiana Hotels and Resort, and of course the Sri Pacific. Apart from being a senior industry icon, he contributes to the hospitality industry as a board member of the Malaysian Association of Hotels, or MAH, Mahtek, the training center of the association. He also he is a certified hotel administrator, CHA, which is a certification by the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute, or AHLEI. He is passionate about developing talents and spends lots of his time in training and is a certified trainer with HRDF. He runs his own hospitality services company and is the CEO. He is also an independent non-executive director of Yeo Yak Seng Limited Singapore and Sunshine Bread Sdn Bhd, which is a company under the Auric Pacific Group Singapore. I'm not sure whether it's the same Sunshine Bread I used to enjoy when I was small in Penang.
The same one.
Oh, okay, good. It's still around. An impressive achievement indeed, Encik Halim, and we are certainly privileged to have you on board.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to just open up a bit on our session today by sharing some data or statistics, the highlight of the hospitality industry in Malaysia. Hospitality and tourism industry has been one of the largest contributors to Malaysian economy and the economy of many other countries. In the first half of 2019, Malaysia's receipt from the tourism arrival stood at 41.69 billion. That is huge. Yeah, with the average stay of tourists between 1 to 6 nights. And I can't wait to go for my vacation. I retired in 2019. I never got the chance. I already booked a flight to Japan, but I never get a chance. Okay, hoping that it will open up again. Unfortunately, the current pandemic has greatly affected the industry According to the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Ajah Nancy Shukri, as of 31st October 2020, 109 hotel operators have closed shop for good. I'm saying it with a very, I feel it because I like to travel. I like to travel, I like photography, I like cycling. So I will put my bicycle back in my car, take it to whatever hotel I can find, stay there, cycle and take photos. So I feel it. Yeah, I've been to most of the hotels in the East Coast, in the South, and also in Penang. This includes Putri Pacific in Johor Bahru, the Holiday Inn in Penang, okay, two of my favorite hotels. And in February 2021, another prominent hotel, the Equatorial Penang, joined the list. Every time I went back to Penang, my mom said, "Son, you go and stay at the hotel lah. You go and stay at Equatorial." So from there on, I got the green light. I went back to Penang. That is the hotel that I will stay. In November 2020, the hospitality and tourism industry had a bit of a breather when the government allowed travel bubble between green zones within the country. In March this year, when the bubble was still allowed, Bank Negara Malaysia had forecasted modest growth for the industry throughout the year. However, the central bank emphasized that the industry's prospect is dependent upon two factors: duration and stringent of interstate and international borders restriction. COVID vaccination, we discussed earlier. COVID vaccination effort is most likely going to be a lifesaver for the industry. Life has turned back to almost normal in countries, for example, like Israel, which has thus far vaccinated 60% of its total population of about 80% of its adult population. Schools have reopened, mass gathering allowed, and wearing face masks in public places are no longer required. Even in the UK, I think UK can be a little bit unfortunate because I think they have extended the lockdown for another month. In UK, even in UK, which has administered the second dose of COVID-19 vaccine on only 47.2% of its population, has reduced many restrictions on its citizens, hence boosting all economic sectors, including hospitality and tourism. In May, the member countries of European Union have agreed on COVID-19 certificate, which will allow all residents of EU to travel within the EU after securing digital health certification that shows their vaccination and COVID-19 status. This will certainly be a booster to hospitality and tourism industry and great news to amid travelers who have been forced into hibernation for months, most of us here. Based on a survey conducted by the Travel Pulse on 5,800 travelers in the United States, 61% of them are hoping to travel in 2021, and 30% of them chose Asia as their destination. It is worth mentioning as well that 52% of the respondents want to go outdoor activities, but 68% of them indicated that they want to avoid crowds. On a personal level, I'm sure that all of us have came across throwback photos from past vacation, from our friends, and families' social media pages, and captions indicating how much they miss traveling, including me, myself. I've been sharing my photos for every day for the last couple of months. I think it is safe to say that hospitality and tourism industry will revive once Malaysia reaches its herd immunity and all travel restrictions are removed. The question is, what do we do while waiting for that to happen? Right? One answer is go for your vaccination. Yeah. Being a university that has a long and proud history of hospitality and tourism programs, UNITA International University has taken the responsibility to address this situation. We have with us today our Adjunc Professor Marikan, together with Encik Uzaidi Udanis, the President of Inbound Tourism Association, MITA, Mr. Christopher S. Raj, the President of Association of Hotel Employers, to discuss with us on how the hospitality and tourism industry can recover amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, this event will not be a reality without the effort and contribution of the many. On behalf of the faculty, I wish to thank the committee members headed by Encik Amri Ahmad for their tireless work and commitment in organizing the event. Thank you all to all faculty members and as well as the audience for your participation in supporting the event. Our sincere appreciation also goes to our esteemed panelists, Encik Muhammad Halim Marikan, our Adjunc, Encik Uzaidi Udanis, and Mr. Christopher S. Raj for their willingness to share their valuable insights. With that, I end my opening speech. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Over to you, Encik Amri.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Hassan, for a very inspiring speech. You know, you make me cry because of so long I've been waiting also to go for my vacation. Okay. As well as we know that the COVID-19 debacle has impacted almost all countries of the world. Their economies have been suffered tremendously. Malaysia have no exception. It's like what Prof was saying earlier. The factories, business have been closed. Many people have lost their jobs. One of the major industries that have been hit most severely is the leisure industry, comprising the hotel industry and all the tourism related activities. Tourism and hotels are major contributor to Malaysian foreign exchange earning, as well as a gross domestic product, GDP, today. So today we want to discuss the impact of COVID on the leisure industry and to see how we can increase, sustain the industry resilience and relevance to the Malaysian future economic growth. We believe the leisure industry is here to stay. For this, have gathered three eminent speakers that was recognized in Malaysia, who had vast hands-on experience in these industries to talk on these specific matters. Before we proceed with the event, I would like to introduce to our speakers of the event. Number one is our adjunct professor, Mr. Halim Marikan. How are you, Mr. Halim? Thank you very much for coming.
I'm well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Number two is Cik Uzaidi, who is the president of the Malaysian Inbound Travel Association, MITA. How are you doing, sir? Good?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah Tuan. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And we have another panelist by the name of Mr. Christopher Raj, who are the president of Association of Hotel Employers and also the council member of Malaysian Employers Federation until now, with member of National Level Advisory Council since 2008 till now. And this is appointed by Minister, yeah, Mr. Raj?
Yeah, that's correct.
Very good. Very good. All right, now next I would like to welcome our first speaker of the day to deliver the welcoming speech. With all due respect, please welcome Mr. Halim Marikan. Thank you.
Thank you, Amri, and very good afternoon to Professor Dr. Muhammad Hassan, the Dean of UNITAR, to my fellow speakers today, Cik Uzaidi and Christopher Raj, and to everybody who is present during this talk, for this talk. Yeah, I think our Professor Dr. Muhammad Hassan has actually elaborated a lot on what the tourism conditions are currently. Yeah, I just want to welcome everybody and to actually mention that the purpose of this inaugural talk is actually to hear from not only from myself, but also from experts like Cik Uzaidi and Christopher Raj. It's been a year plus that we've been in this pandemic, and everybody is going through very difficult times. Yeah. Therefore, it's very important that we look at not post, not the past, but amidst the pandemic. Currently, with the government's announcement yesterday, whereby it has given a lot of mixed feelings among the people of Malaysia, yeah, and whether it has created fear when you see you will only go back to normal conditions in December, which is under the phase 4, that creates a lot of fear and confusion, yeah, especially for us, for the university, for the businesses in the tourism industry, right? So today's talk basically is we just want to touch on areas where how do we continue with the business, the tourism business, the hospitality business amidst the COVID situation, and using technology. Yeah, once again, technology is an enhancement to improve the service. Okay. And also we want to talk more importantly is about how the human resources impact during the COVID for the tourism industry. We hear a lot of hotels are closed. We hear some are temporarily closed. We hear some are permanently closed. There are a lot of employees that has been let go of their jobs. And having said that, on the flip side, I do also see a lot of establishment hiring people. I see a lot of advertisements coming out, yeah. As how Professor Muhammad Hassan mentioned this now, that there was a small window that opened in the beginning of the year. And I know, especially like in Penang, there were difficulties finding people to work, even on a part-time basis, because there was a sudden influx of domestic travel. So we need to look at the existing capital, human capital that are available in the marketplace. But we also have to remember there are many universities or higher learning institutes that are providing hospitality as a subject matter. And there are a lot of aspiring hoteliers or tourism related graduates that will be coming out or are already available, who are looking at wanting to be employed. Yeah, so I think this is where Mr. Christopher Raj will be able to give a great insight of what the hospitality is looking for. I'm sure Mr. Uzaidi will be able to also provide those information for the graduates. Yeah, and for myself, of course, on the hotel side. So please feel free to put in your questions. We will answer them during the Q&A period on any challenges that you feel or any insights that you have to share during the talk. It is a very casual talk, and we would like it to be interactive between ourselves, the speakers, and as well with the audience. So, as mentioned, UNITA do provide hospitality diplomas and degree, including a master in tourism, in hotel management. Yeah, they also have a culinary school. So this is, as how we mentioned, the far back as 1997, and they've been a leader in the hospitality and tourism faculty. All right. So, yep. So let's not waste any more time. I would like to jump straight into the discussion. So back to you, Mr. Amri. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cik Halim, Mr. Halim, for the speech just now. May all of us learn something beneficial from the speech that you have said. Without further ado, we would like to continue to our next agenda. So for our first topic for today is how to mesh technology, digitalization against customer-centric as recovery strategy. So first, I would like to invite Mr. Uzaidi to give his thoughts about this question. Mr. Uzaidi, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. Amri Ahmad, Senior Lecturer of Faculty of Business Technology UNITA, and also yang saya hormati, yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Muhammad Hassan, the Dean UNITA, and our friends, rakan seperjuangan, Adjunc Professor Encik Muhammad Halim, dan juga our panelists, Mr. Christopher Ray Raj. And also importantly, I would like to extend my special thanks to UNITA for inviting me to this important event, UNITA Inaugural Hospitality Talk, and congrats to UNITA for having this kind of a relevant topic on how can the hospitality industry recover amidst the COVID-19 pandemics. I would like also to give shout out to all our tourism future leaders, from UNITA. We all depend on you guys to make sure Malaysia become #1 destination in the world. So give me a thumbs up in the comment column, and also indicating you are, as a future leader, willing to do so what it takes to make Malaysia a #1 destination in the world. So come on, give a thumbs up, or maybe type yes at the column comment. I want to see all the future leaders. I want to see all the future leaders from UNITA. You guys are very important for us. Ladies and gentlemen, this pandemic is actually a wake-up call. For all of us in this tourism industry. We used to promote and market our destination the old style, the traditional way, through the office, to the brick mortar office, through physical travel fair, facing our prospect face to face, haggling them to pay the deposits. Well, actually, the digital disruptive already happening way before the pandemic COVID-19. And we shut our eyes and our ears, pretending digitalization is just a fate. So when the pandemics happen, when the pandemic comes, everybody's scrambling to find how to leverage this digital platform. I can see all the future tourism leaders. Thank you guys, thank you. And everybody now is talking about digital. We learn the hard way how we organize meeting through Zoom, how we organize event through webinars, through Microsoft Teams. Even though webinars existed more than 30 years ago, not many people know that webinar existed more than 30 years ago. So the world has switched to a digital mode. This is where all the interactions are digital, where the consumers interact with the across all the channel, the website, the social media, the mobile apps, the customer service centers, outreach campaign are becoming more and more important. With the online streaming platform like Facebook Live and e-commerce influencing our customers' choice of products, the personalized and importantly important to make sure that we understand the customers or the tourists' preference. Consumers or tourists are now very fussy, very fussy and demanding. So consumers expect brands or deliver services consistently. So if they don't experience this kind of seamlessly services, they just log off. They just go somewhere else, and most cases never return. So the sad thing, most tourism players, especially travel agents, are struggling to straddle this analog transform from analog to digital. And very difficult for us to offer a consistent experience. That's why very important for us to make sure that more and more players will adopt the digital ways. I receive a lot of proposal on digital initiatives. Some are good, but a lot of us fail to realize that digital is a huge topic. It's a huge area. It's not about just creating website. It's not just about creating doing Facebook Live. It's more than that. It requires a whole value chain and the whole sales funnel, from inventory to distribution to fulfillment to database management to direct marketing. It's a huge area which we need to learn and we need to adapt and to make sure that we are in the right place. It's not just a standalone website. I hope more and more. I really hope more players, especially travel agents, will adopt digital way to make sure you can compete in the international market. I think that's some of the my comments on these questions. Back to you, Tuan Amri. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cik Uzari. It's quite interesting. How about you, Cik Alim? What do you think of the topic about this? How to merge technology digitalization? Yeah, against customer centric as recovery strategy.
As how Yeah. As how Zaidi has mentioned, technology is not new for the tourism or the hospitality industry. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's been around for a long time. It's just now, as you rightly say, it's been accelerated due to this pandemic. And if you don't follow, you don't keep yourself abreast with the current technology, you get left behind. And of course, the situation with this pandemic, everybody is looking for contactless sort of technology, whereby there will be less physical contact between the hotel or the travel agents and the customers. But let's just understand what customer-centric means. Customer-centric basically came from the early days of the evolution from customer service, right? And then from customer service, which was like 20, 30 years ago, we were talking about customer service, and then from there, it evolved to become customer experience, right? We wanted the customer to have an experience. So now, basically what we're saying, when we focus on customer centric for now, during this current situation and with the availability of digitalization, is to make sure that we are able to give customers an experience, but at the same time, putting the customer at the center of it all, as opposed to just a simple experience, but we want to make sure the customer is the key. So even during this pandemic times, we looked at the way we are marketing our business. We don't want to go into a dark marketing situation. We want to always keep abreast with our customers, our potential clients or future clients, or most especially our existing clients, to make sure that we are still alive, we are surviving. Hang on, we'll ride through this, and eventually we'll be able to get back to where normalcy is, right? So taking that into perspective, putting the customer at the center of things, right, and giving them an experience means using all form of technologies that we have now. There are many. I mean, if you really think about it, you can list from mobile keys to smart rooms, to social media, definitely booking technology, automated check-ins and check-outs, right? Hotel systems. Those days was this old machine that we used to have, which requires a lot of time spent to manage it, right? You had to use servers and this and that. Nowadays, everything is in the cloud, so we're able to extract data. We'll be able to reach out to our customers much easier, right? Blockchain solutions are in place, yeah? And a lot more now is the AI, artificial intelligence, or whereby we are using virtual tours, we are using robotics, augmented, technologies. For example, I believe Hilton International recently now has come up with an icon called Connie, right? So these are technologies that is required right now amidst this COVID, to make sure that our customers are able to enjoy and experience. Perhaps with this downtime that we are having, I've always spoken to a lot of technology people to say that, what is Malaysia still missing? What can you guys come up with? Of course, it involves costs to implement all this, right? But let's work together. The Malaysian Association of Hotels works very closely with several key technology companies to come up with solutions to share and make sure that we are able to cut down the costs. But let's look at technology not only from the customer standpoint, look at it from the owner's standpoint, look at it from the operations standpoint. There are technologies to help you reduce your costs, right? There are building management systems, there are technologies out there that's able to help you reduce your operation costs, right? But having said all that, it comes back to giving the customer an experience. And the only way we in the tourism industry can give an experience back to the customer is human resources. We still need human resources. We still need the people behind it to manage it, to understand it. A robot is not able to think how a human can provide service. Therefore, that person behind it is still the human touch. Yeah, so that's my take on this, Amri. Back to you. Perhaps Christopher can share from his standpoint of the human resources side of things.
Yeah, Mr. Christopher, what's your, please.
Yeah, you muted, Chris.
You muted. Your speaker is muted.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right, it's good to be the third speaker on the same subject. So I don't have to repeat most of the things. You know, I've been in the industry for now probably, I'm going into my 40th year. Okay, I've been in the hotel industry for a long time. You know, let me tell you something. The hotel business will always be people-centric. You know, when you talk about technologies have come in, and yes, contactless check-in, the robotics, and artificial intelligence telling you which is the best place to dine and things like that. But I always remember those days. There used to be a program called Cheers. I don't know how many of you remember. It's an old program. One of the theme song is "You like to go where everybody knows your name." It's not you go to a place where your robot knows your name. You don't go to a place where, oh, I want to see a machine. People have always been people. We are a social being. Okay, so the hotel business is about catering to the social being. Even now when the Euro is going on, let me tell you, all of them can watch the game on TV, right? But yet, when you open the doors for people to go and be a spectator in the stadium, everybody runs and wants to go buy the ticket. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to tell you is, the hotel business, yes, we are going through a tough time. We are going through a difficult time. Of course, we have gone through the flus, the bird flu seasons. We have gone through SARS. We have gone through the Zika virus. We have gone through everything else. For me, if you talk about technology, I think the most important thing the hotels need to invest in terms of technology is not so much as, robots making your burgers, not so much as robots making your dishes and whatsoever, because people will go to a place when the food is good, right? So the most important thing now with all this thing that is going around the world with this virus attack, COVID-19, is how are you going to see the whole housekeeping cleaning has taken a completely different perspective altogether. Your air cons that is coming in, they want you to invest into an air con where you are very sure that the air that is coming in is clean. The atmosphere in the hotel is clean. I think this is where the money needs to be spent in terms of, using the technology to make sure that the place is hygienic, the place is, very clean for people to go. All other technologies, yes, you want to reduce the manpower, you want to, as far as possible, and that has been there before. Digitalization, in terms of marketing, we have already got digitalization long time ago. All our promotions are all done through, digital media. You go to, all kind of medias where you go and, you get your rates and things like that. All your booking is done through the media. No more people coming in, checking in. They are going through all the promotions that are done through the digital media. That has been there. Of course, it's going to get better. The one who has a better program is always going to be ahead of the rest of them. That's going to be there. But for my input, they have all said, the previous speakers, which was Zaidi and Halim, have already said, in terms of technology, yeah, all this robotics and things, it's already there. Even before COVID-19, they're already there. You go to China, you don't have to, you can go and check into one of these Alibaba hotels where it is totally facial recognition. There's nothing. There's one person who comes, you enter the reception, all they do is take a picture. The minute a picture is taken, you just go in, everything is just looking into, you want to check into your room, you look into the what is that, the machine that's put in front, automatically your door is open. You control all your temperature with just speaking to a machine. You control your window through a machine. You control your TV channels through a machine. All that has been there even before COVID-19 came. But I think COVID-19, what the main thing that there will be changes is in terms of the technology to make the place more hygienic. I think now health aspect is the area that they will focus on in improving the technology, so that I feel comfortable going to a place. But as far as other things are concerned, let me tell you, as I said, the hospitality business has always been about people. It will always be about people, and the more the people, the more the crowd that will come. The less the machines, who wants to go and sit in a restaurant and a machine serving you? I don't know. I don't think I would want to go and dine in a place like that. I would rather go and see someone who's smiling there. Either it's a handsome guy or a pretty girl who's coming and showing me the drink. Believe me, guys, that has been the style of the hotels. Forgive me for being very rude and very clear in the sense that they always like to call a hotel. We want to have a sexy hotel. That's some of the terms that they use, not in the sexual sense. What we are saying is that we want to have people who are nice, who are wonderful, like what Halim just mentioned just now. The hospitality experience. The minute I enter inside, they say, "Welcome to Shangri-La, Mr. Raj." Oh, what a feeling I get. Somebody mentioning my name. Can you imagine a robotic machine coming in? "Hi, Mr. Raj, welcome to Shangri-La." That's not going to give me a great pleasure. So coming back to the subject of technology, just not to add so much, which has already been said, it will always be people-centric. That's my opinion. Hotel industry will thrive only with people. Technology, yes, in areas where it's necessary, but not in the areas of giving the people experience. Yeah, of course, there are some loners who prefer this type of hotel. You don't want to know which hotel you're checking in. That type of crowd also you have, but they will choose those type of hotel. But let me tell you, the majority of the people who like to go to a place where there's fun, there's social beings, there's human beings who are welcoming you and smiling you. That you cannot take away. That's my opinion, being in the line for 40 years. If that changed, I'll be very surprised. Thank you.
All right.
That's good. That's good. That's good, Mr. Raj. Actually, me as part of the hoteliers, with Cik Halim, I've known Cik Halim for so long. Yeah, we need the human touch. Actually, it's true. When we can memorize the guests who's checking in often to the hotel, and then wish the guests. We feel like personalized, and then we feel, wow, great. Wow, that is true because. In the hotel line is more into service. We're talking about hands-on. So we need to get, I think all of you did a good job in agreeing of the first questions. Now on the second agenda is, the question is about the human resource challenges in the hospitality industry. Yeah. Will remote work from home trends be implemented in the hospitality industry? This is quite interesting question. So first, I would like to invite Cik Uzaidi on this question. Cik Uzaidi, thank you. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Tuan Amri. All right, with regards of the work WF-ish, work from home. Working from home is itself is a very big challenge for us in the tourism for tourism players. How can we trust our staffs working from home? Are they working? How can we gauge the performance? How can we make sure that the staffs deliver and perform, and at the same time to make sure that they are still productive? These are actually new challenges, and I feel that these new challenges becoming new normal, and new normal becoming next normal. And it's very tough for us to understand, to learn how can we have this new SOP. A new SOP, or maybe a new TOR, term of reference on specific details, and to make sure that we spell it out, the desired outcome in view of the bosses. The bosses want this. We must have a really specific outcome. So it's a big challenge. Recently, I attended the international audit conference on virtual auditing, where the human resource the speaker said we must formalize a lot of new methods on auditing the human resource performance by auditing remotely, by having all kind of SOP. So a lot of new things are coming up, and we the tourism players, I think there's no way, there's no U-turn. There's no revert back to the old way, but we need to adapt. And this maybe continue, even though, as I know that a lot of big companies, Google's or Facebook, everything, they are practicing work from home, even though the situation are becoming more normal there in US and in UK. So they're becoming as if that this is a next normal, which we need to accept that staffs can work from home. And in fact, we can tap all the good talents from all over the world. Not necessarily that we can employ the local staff, but you can employ the foreign staff, the good talents from all over the world, in view of our what we want to give the best result for our companies. It's becoming more global. I feel that is a big challenge, Tuan Amri, and I hope we can understand better and learn better on how we can cope up with this big challenge, Tuan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Cik Zaidi. So how about you, Cik Alim? What do you think in terms of work from home in the hospitality?
In the hospitality industry, I think, as we all agreed based on the first question just now, the first discussion just now, is that the tourism industry, the hospitality industry still require human touch, still require the people-centric situation. So there will be a situation where what we are learning now, that certain departments, certain work descriptions or tasks that needs to be done, perhaps can be from home. Yeah, namely, when you talk about administrative, where there will not be any requirements of a face-to-face with the customers, there is a possibility. Yeah. However, as how Cik Zaidi mentioned this now, there will be a need to learn this. How do we coordinate all this? Do I have the system in place? Is there enough productivity coming out from all this? Right? I mean, during my Impiana days, my regional sales officers, I've told my director of sales and marketing, it doesn't matter where you are, as long as the productivity is done and that you are able to be reached anytime I need to reach you. Right? That by itself is already considered work from outside the office scenario. Yeah. So, sales and marketing is a scenario where one can actually say work from home. Companies are also tapping on the possibilities of engaging more general sales agents, GSAs, rather than having their own sales team. So that's another way when we talk about outsourcing or working away from your office environment. All right. But the challenges that we'll always find, and Christopher will agree with this, is the natural attritions or the attritions that happen with regards to human resources. Right. So it's all interrelated. The main ones that we always have with manpower or human resource challenges in the industry is the attrition, the training and development, satisfaction and morale at work of the employees, talent acquisition. As you mentioned this now, Zaidi, we are able to tap on good talents outside, right? But they are all interrelated. Attrition happens when a staff is not happy, turnover is high, or what do you call it? There is a lot of low retention rates, for example, and this impacts more training that needs to be done when we hire people. Okay, so matching these two together, the trend of working from home, keeping your people to work, continue to work productively to provide the input into the operations of the hotel. As I mentioned earlier, the administration side, human resource, finance, right? Sales and marketing. This is admin part of the operation. But how do I match that with the operational, where you have the front office or the kitchen or the F&B, housekeeping? It needs to be matched. Until and when a company can operate properly, where they can do half from home, half at work, it can be a challenge. Yeah, but the bigger challenge may be acceptance. Are we willing to accept the fact that I will have some people working from home while some others working at the hotel or in the travel agent. Yeah, so we need to match that. Okay, so at the end of the day, it will be a trend because we have picked it up. We are doing it now, right? A lot of companies are doing so. A lot of banks, I'm aware or informed that a lot of banks, the senior managers are still working from home ever since. It's only those junior managers and all that are the ones in the bank, right? And, universities for that matter, right, Amri? The school goes on, you are still at home, but you are doing your role
Yes,
as
that's true.
what
That's
is need
true.
to be done.
Correct.
Lectures are
Our
being,
class is all online.
yeah, so it's a good mix. It's something that is, as how Zaidi said, something moving forward that we need to ensure we are able to cope with, because this is the new norm, right? And people have agreed on it. I've spoken to many corporate companies, during trying to get sales moving for our hotels, and many of them are actually saying, well, we don't travel very much anymore because we are all working virtually. We are talking to our clients virtually. So this is something we have to adopt, not only from our workplace, but your clients. Your clients are also doing the same thing. They are also adopting working from home. So, which comes to the point I mentioned just now. Do we need such a huge sales force now? Let's use them to be trained and develop into areas such as e-commerce, to be trained into areas of the digitalization, to be able to reach out to our customers. And this is something that we need to realize is happening currently. Yeah. Thank you, Amri.
Thank you very much, Jalim. How about you, Mr. Christopher? What do you think about the work from home? You are the best person to answer this, since that you are.
I tend to kind of not totally agree with the comments of my both earlier speakers. Yeah, okay. I mean, as I said, I'm all in HR person who's in fact looking at the current situation. No, when I say that, I don't agree, not necessarily 100%. I agree with what you're saying, but let me tell you, the reality is working from home is something that we are adopting for the current situation. Okay, because how can a waiter work from home, or a housekeeper work from home, or a F&B person work from home, or even the administrative staff of the for example, if you look at the sales and marketing, we have events manager, you have banquet managers. This is all managerial staff. They are there for a specific purpose. When the customer is there in the hotel, they are supposed to talk to the customer. They cannot work from home and say, okay, is everything all going well in the hotel where you are in my hotel? It's not going to happen. When the hotel opens up, when we get over this situation, what is going to happen is the hotel is going to come back to that particular same norm. The hotel industry, as I said, it's a people-centric thing. And the people we need, even our sales manager, we call them events manager. Why we call them events manager is from the time the function starts at 6 o'clock in the evening, right up to the time it finishes at 12 o'clock. The events manager will be sitting around there and looking and talking to the customer. Is everything going well? But of course, on the sales aspect of it, like what Mr. Jahalim said, yes, you can do a lot of phone calls. But let me also throw these questions. How many people do really answer telephone calls when you want to make a good sale? The traditional way has always been go and knock the doors. Go to the company, knock the doors, see them face to face, close a deal, and come back. Because the telephone call, maybe it will take you 10 times before you can get somebody, because he said he has to talk to his boss have to talk to his boss, and his boss has to talk to somebody else. Working from home, yes. In generally speaking, yes, that is something that's a new concept that has been agreed. It is good for many other industries, yes, I would agree. But for the hotel industry, let me tell you, 80% to the 90% of the people are required to be in the hotel. Okay, that is how the hotel functions. Even the general manager, for that matter, you can see when the Adjunc comes in, or when a VIP checks in, he's standing at the lobby there and say, "Welcome, sir, to my hotel." All these people, of course, they can work from home, but that's not what our business is all about. As I talked about earlier, I'm tying my earlier comments to this. We are people-centric. The thrill they get is when the general manager stands there. Halim has done it 10,000 times, I believe. You know, when somebody comes in and you bow down our head, like, 10 million times, you become the match. Welcome to, my hotel. It's very nice of you to patronize my hotel. And let me tell you why people come to you again is because of that.
Yes.
And, and what is this working from home? Let me tell you, once the business is back to normal, everybody get back to the hotel. Yeah, there are some positions. Will be, I would say, 10% to, position. As far as I'm not talking about other businesses. Don't get me wrong. I know I'm not against the work from home policy and things like that. I am all in all 40 years hotelier. And I can tell you the hotel business is all about everybody being there and satisfying the customer. Every role that we have in the hotel is to deal with the customer. When I say that, the HR, we are the customer. I mean, our customers are our staff. I need to be there when they're coming there crying to me in my office. I have to be there as well. Of course, I can put a robotic thing, you press a button for your orientation, number 2, for your letter, number 3 for your letter to the doctor, number 4 is your confirmation letter, number 5 you press. Yes, you can do all of that. I'm not saying you can't do all of that. But what I'm saying is, what is the heart of the hotel business? The heart of the hotel business is welcoming and giving your guests the welcoming experience. When I look at that, yes, the current norm, let me tell you now what's happening is my F&B staff, of course, all at home. My kitchen staff are all at home. My, housekeeping staff are all at home because there's no work for them to do in the hotel. The minute the hotel opens up, even when we have CMCO, for example, when we open up our hotels with 50% occupancy of the restaurant, all our people are back. We are back. We still have to serve them. We still have to be there. And, of course, we follow the SOPs, whatever that is given by the government. But we serve the people. The way you serve people is different. You can't go and take your food now straight away from the buffet. There is a glass panel out there. You take, in a minute, you show the cook what you want to eat. He gives you a plate. All you need to do is point finger which one you want, and he serves. You cannot serve it yourself. We change the way we operate the business, but we still have that cook behind that screen that we put in front for you to serve the food. It's not by pressing a button or this certain portion comes out. It cannot. And what I'm saying again is it comes back to the core value of our business. The core business is to satisfy my customer who's coming in with a smile on my face. Welcome, Encik Halim, to Shangri-La Hotel, Kuala Lumpur. It's been a long time I didn't see you. How is my food? Is my food tasting good? Do you like it? Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming. Oh, hope everything is okay. How is the food? It's all okay. See, this is our business all about. And how can I do it without the people? They can't do it, So what I'm saying is, yes, there are certain areas, but as far as, generally speaking, for the hotel business, as I said, if you want to mix technology, of course you can mix tech. As I told you, in US, you can press, you can tell what burger you want, and a robotic does the burger for you. Of course, if you invest into that kind of machine, of course, the burger, but end of the day, somebody has got to put the garnishing. Now, there will be a person to put the garnishing inside. But the main point I'm saying is work from home is all nice. You can do that, but there are so many things you need to put in place. First of all, you need to have the deliverables very clearly stated. You need to know what is the expected target. Everybody has to have a target of what has to be achieved in a day. If you cannot come out with all the specifics and say that this is what you have to achieve in a day, you can talk till the cows come home. Working from home is nothing but, sitting and, walking around, just putting your computer on. I know a lot of people who just on the computer, they're working from home, but they're not even behind the computer. Nobody calls them. And when you look at it, you say, yes, they're connected. Again, one of the things from MEF we're asking them to do is, when you say we're working from home, at this moment, we have to, what happened? There is an accident while we are working from home. Is SOXO covered? This type of things is all, all of this has to be developed, for us to say that you want to go into that kind of work from home situation, which I say in many industries, yes, in technology industries you can or whatsoever, but in terms of hospitality, as I said, we are here talking about hospitality. Probably work from home is something that it's not going to happen in the hotel industry. We need people to come back.
Very good point, Christopher. I think this is where this discussion is all about. You know, the ideology of what can be and who can do and who cannot do, which industry can do. When it comes back to hospitality and tourism, it is still a people-centric scenario. It is still somebody who needs to be on site, in the office, in the hotels. You know, you cannot have a tour guide on a bus virtual, right? That person needs to be there. You cannot have a tour leader or a tour guide showing you the sights of Kuala Lumpur virtually. Of course, we have such applications available in the world nowadays. You know, you take for instance, the tour on bus in London or even in KL, hop on, hop off. You listen to the voice in the headset, you know, as you are passing by certain areas. But it's still never the same with somebody sitting in front of you or standing in front of you and sharing the historical background of such a site, you know, a tourist site. And as you rightly say, Christopher, for the hospitality industry and tourism, it is definitely 100% agree with you that it cannot be done. Yeah, not when it comes to a face-to-face scenario, which is required, and right on the nail.
Yeah.
So that
What
comes to our next. Sorry.
Business comes back to normal. When business come back to normal, everything will get back as much as possible to what it used to be before, minus the hygiene factors, minus all those things that I had to put in place. That's what I'm saying.
About CRM, customer relationship management systems. How good should it be? How should we use CRM during this current crisis, where you know, we are not able to reach out to or meet our clients? With a strong CRM system that you have in your establishment, this is the time that you need to pull it up. Many companies, many hotels, they do not update their CRM often enough. They don't have the latest data. They don't have the latest contact person. And when crisis like this happens, suddenly you send an email out or you try to reach out through the phone and that person is no more working there. So it is very important, whether you like it or not, that you need to have an updated, a very concise and usable CRM in order for you to manage your business, any business for that matter, where it deals with customers. Yeah. Okay, Cik Amri, back to you.
Thank you very much. I think, guys, you have done a good job on answering the questions. You know, it's quite interesting. Before I move into the next question, I would like all the participants to remind you to the link of your attendance and participants on the feedback of these events, and we are giving a e-certificate. You know, all of us who participate in this inaugural talk will receive e-certificate arranged by UNITA International University. Thank you very much. Now, on the next topic is for Mr. Christopher. Okay. Now, we are moved to our last topic actually. It's quite interesting. I want you to share your thoughts about these questions, okay? On, is the hospitality tourism industry job still relevant to the students?
Wow, let me tell you, before you even want to think second time, the answer is yes. Let me tell you why. As I said, I am, you know, as was introduced, I am the president of the Association of Hotel Employees, which is basically a trade union of employees. You know what's happening now? Because of the hotel business that is gone down since 2000 and early 2020 and 2021, I think there's an interruption.
Yeah, can somebody switch off your mic, please? There's music in the background, somebody.
Yes, please switch off the mic.
Okay, Google, turn off the fan. All right, turning the Allen room fans off.
All right, I think we're good.
Let me see what is happening
I think
now is, since the beginning of 2021, do you know that 2020, the hotel industry I mean, we started losing staff, we started cutting down staff. There is pay cuts going on, there's retrenchment that's going on. There are some hotels, like, what Prof just mentioned, 109 hotels have closed down. Recently, Ma did a survey. They surveyed from 320 hotels. And out of the 320 hotels, one of the questions that was, how many of them are operating? How many of them are closed down? And let me tell you, the answer from the 320, of course, we have more than 4,000 over hotels that are in the whole country. Ma has a membership of, like what Jali mentioned, of more than close to 1,000. Okay, the respondent here is only 320 hotels. And let me tell you the another question. So out of this, 30% of the hotels are temporarily closed or closed, and 70% are operating. And even those who are operating, the next question that they asked in the survey is, what are you doing? Yes, there is a pay cut. Yes, there is they're cutting down, what is the number of staff? They are not increasing. And it's also true what Charlie mentioned earlier, there are some hotels that they're recruiting. Why I'm telling you all of this is, let me tell you, if the plan goes according to what the PM says, in the sense that if we achieve the herd immunity, say, 80% of the country is receive their vaccination, one of the things that's going to happen is, even in the domestic market, the occupancy will automatically go up to at least 30 to 40%. Okay, when if the automatic, because local market people are staying at home waiting to go out. Even when we had that small break in 2020 early in March and in April, the occupancy rate went up to almost 30%, 27% they say, but I believe it's even higher than that. What's going to happen is, because all the hotels, now come back to my earlier statement, because all the hotels have reduced their number of staff, the minute the occupancy picks up, they cannot run the hotel with the existing menu. What's going to happen is, the minute that hotel open up, I know, I am a HR guy, believe me, I know they cannot operate the hotel when the business comes back to even 40%. What that's going to be is, you're going to see, mark my word, the minute we reach the 80% occupancy, herd immunity, the minute we open up interstate, and the minute we are prepared to open up the international market, every hotel that is existing will be putting up ads to recruit people, because they have already let go a lot of people out. They cannot operate the business with the current menu. Let me tell you, as a general statement, with the number of staff that they have, because they went through this difficult path, trying to sustain the business, they have let go a lot of staff. So if the business come back even 50% to what it was before, what's going to happen? Predict my word, you are going to see advertisements coming out in the newspaper. I'm recruiting, I'm recruiting, I'm recruiting, I'm recruiting. So my friend, every one of you in the hospitality industry, you will have a job without fail. I can guarantee you. So that's my thing, when the business come back to normal, what is going to happen is, there's going to be a lot of, because we are the most affected industry as far as this pandemic is concerned, tourism and tourism related hotel industry, and we have retrenched a lot of people. We have let people go. And what is also happening, just to let you know, is a lot of people, as you know, some of the hotels depend on the service charge. And because of that, because there's not been any service charge, what's happening is, the take-home pay of the people have gone down to a point that they cannot sustain their jobs. They've resigned. They're going and doing Grab jobs. They're going and doing other things, because they feel that the income that they have is not enough. And the business, when the business comes back to normal, of course, most of the hotels have gone on clean wage, no more on the service charge element. What's going to happen is, there is going to be a boom in terms of recruitment. They are going to go out there and say, we're going to recruit a lot of people. So I would say that, there is a future for the tourism industry. There is, we have been, as Professor rightly mentioned earlier part, Professor Dr. Hassan, he said that, we are the second largest revenue earner for the country. And my friends, let me tell you this, we are the cheapest destiny as far as Southeast Asia is concerned. We are so cheap. It's only not even US $50 per room. You try to get a room, a decent hotel room in Thailand or Indonesia, or, for that matter, any other our neighboring countries. Try to get a room for $50 US. I'm talking about a 5-star, 4-star. I'm not comparing a homestay or whatsoever. Let me tell you, you can't. Only in Malaysia you can get that rate. Our rates are the lowest. So we will eventually, if we can achieve the herd immunity, in matter of time, let me tell you, the people are going to flow in here. People will come, and we will be back to our normal business. As I told you, there are a lot of changes we need to take in terms of, as I said, hygienic factors. Hotels have to change. How are we going to do the check-in on the hygiene aspect of it, the house cleaning aspect of it, the engineering air circulation aspect of it. And, of course, customers are going to look at it. How are the hotels? How hygienic is this hotel? And I tell you, if you take care of these factors, which will be the biggest, as far as I'm concerned, number one fear factor. And if that fear factor is taken care of, we will bring in the inflow of people coming into this country. And, probably you can become the number one revenue earner for the country as well. Because our destination is still the cheapest. And our rooms are still one of the best as far as the region is concerned. You go and look at our rooms, and you go and stay in other places. Our rooms are so good. Our facilities are so good. And this is where, from the tourism industry, I always say that one of the things that we need to do moving forward is to increase our rates for the hotels. There has to be a concerted effort coming from MOTAC and, through all the association. How can we increase the room rates? Because now you got the hygiene factor, the cost of running the hotel is going to go a little bit higher because of all these hygiene factors. So what we need to do is, at the same time, there has to be an increase in the room rates and things like that. And hopefully the associations can come together, work together with MOTAC to increase the room rates. And I'm telling you, we have a future. There is a future. Hotel industry is not going to go anywhere. With that, I pass. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Raj. I think that's a good news to me, to our especially UNITA International University. We need a lot more students coming in. How about you, Chairlim? What do you think?
Well, as how Christopher said, the job factor for tourism, not only for hotel, but all related to tourism, there will be a future. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, I see a lot of advertisements coming up, from my own chat groups, from the newspaper, from the LinkedIn, and any other social media or platforms where people can post vacancies of job, especially for the hospitality industry or the tourism industry. It's there. Now, either they are getting ready to what Christopher has just said, whereby you cannot operate with a skeleton, manpower. Yeah, you need to have a certain level to provide that certain level of service required. So if you jeopardize your service, you jeopardize your business. People will not come back. Very simple as that, right? So I think what's important to realize here is a balance of graduates that are coming out. I always believe that we should always give graduates opportunities to join the hotel industry or any tourism industry related, even for Encik Uzaidi's organizations. Yeah. And it's very important that they are ready. They are ready to meet the new changes, the new environment, the new things that are in place. Universities need to look at making sure the subject matters that they have at hand is suitable and meets the requirement of the new way of things moving forward. All right. I'm glad Christopher talked about domestic travel because Malaysia has 33 million, close to 33 million population. There's about 20 million of Malaysians that are able to travel, right? And Malaysia, on an average, annually gets about 25, 26 million tourists itself, yeah? For Malaysians, domestic travel, if you take the statistics from Tourism Malaysia, is almost double of what foreign tourist arrivals are into the country. Okay, so our hope is definitely to make sure that we tap on this domestic market, all right, and be prepared for this domestic market. Yeah, and as how I see Dr. Ainon posted a question there, but hotels will start hiring, yes, but they will give priority to people that have experience. Now, this is where, when we talk about graduates for the future, the internship programs that they have to do as part of their subject matter, they need to make sure that they are able to reach out to hotels, and hotels at the same time, I urge you to start looking at also having sufficient available spots to have interns in different sections of your hotel, because this is where then the students will gain knowledge, the students will be able to gain the experience and be ready to join the workforce as they graduate. So it is a balancing act. The hotels, yes, we need experienced workers. At the same time, graduates are coming out with perhaps not enough experience. But let's look at it this way, guys. You can take anybody off the street. If the guy has the right attitude, if the guy has the right behavior, the skills and knowledge, you just have to train. You just have to develop this person. You just make sure that this person has a strong, good, systematic training before the guy goes on the job. Yeah, so it's universities making sure they have the right training ground and academic knowledge for the students. Hotels ready and open to accept these people, these students who graduate or as they come out for internship. Yeah, it has to be a strong balance.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jalib. How about you, Zaidi, on this matter?
Thank you, Tuan Amri. Actually, it's actually a human nature. We love to travel. There's a famous saying that that the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. So human being in nature loves to travel for all kind of reasons. I don't know whether we realize or not. We in the tourism industry, we know that Malaysians are travel animal. You can see before the MCO 3.0, plenty of this revenge traveling. That goes everywhere to all over. Even camping in Taman Negara. Formerly, Taman Negara is not popular for domestic tourists, but now it's very popular, getting popular. So we are actually travel animal. We one of the country who are measuring in exporting tourists to all over the world. To Hokkaido, to Korea, to whoever, and Malaysia tourists love to spend money through shoppings and other than shoppings like countries like in Japan, China, and Korea. So these countries love our tourists. So as long as tourists are still here, I think the hospitality and tourism job are still relevant and very practical. We used to provide 3.6 millions of jobs in Malaysia in the past. But again, we need to be relevant. We need to update ourselves, and we need to tweak a little bit in adapting the new method and style of employability of graduates. Graduates cannot depend on old method. For example, instead of waiting for jobs opening, graduates need to create their own jobs. How to create their own jobs? Well, I can tell you, this crisis is actually opportunity. People said from every crisis comes opportunity. What opportunities do you see is actually now we can grab as many opportunities we can grab, especially in the world market. You need to give value added to your future employer. Nowadays, all the tourism players, they require three skill to move forward. What are these new skills? These three skills are actually the graduates need to be able to identify the new marketable products. Number one, the graduates need to be expert in penetrating the direct market source. And number three, the graduates need to be good in database management, CRM. How do they communicate with the customers and audience? Even the graduates need to have their own audience. If you guys can offer these three things, I'm very sure all the employers, especially travel agents like us, will scramble to employ you. Even before you graduate, we grab you before you graduate. So that's how the market require. So we need to adapt this market. If you don't believe it, try it. This actually has not limit to the local market or to the Malaysian market. It also can apply to world market. Look at the destination like Dubai, who will be organizing World Expo soon, and Japan, who will be organizing Olympic, Qatar for next year, the World Cup soccer. Last month, I had a discussion with the Excellency of Ambassador of Qatar. They're looking for good talents. So who are these talents? We are famous of this in terms of tourism and hospitality. We are actually have a good opportunities for graduates to grab all these peluang-peluang lah. It's a huge opportunities. So there's going to be like what Christopher said. There's going to be a boom in the recruitment soon. So everybody needs a good talents. So as graduates, you have to prepare. With the industry, would like to work with UNITAR. I'm so sure UNITAR be able to provide to supply all these good talents, the best tourism talents, and we can even export. We can even recruit and export it to the world market. I think that's my take, and I hope that all graduates, you guys are future leaders. Bear in mind, you are future leaders. This is the best time for you to grab the opportunities, and I hope all of you take these opportunities.
I would like to add on that, Uzaidi, because when you say about create jobs, you should be a job creator as opposed to job seeker, because one of the very popular question that I ask during an interview is, what benefit would you bring to my business or to my hotel if I was to hire you, right? And many of them will go around the world. They keep spinning on a lot of things, but they do not give me the thing that I want to hear, right? And I think this is where it starts, even from university level. Graduates need to start looking and preparing themselves for the real world. There will be thousands of people looking for jobs from the universities coming out. Not only UNITAR, but you're talking about all the private and also government-linked universities in Malaysia. But how do you make yourself different from the next person? Why should I hire you? Because if you're not going to give me something that is going to, that light bulb that lights on, right? When, that little wow factor. So it comes back to create job creator as opposed to job seeker. You don't want to say that, oh, I'm joining your hotel, or I'm joining your travel agent because I want to be a reservationist behind the counter, or I want to be a front office assistant behind the counter. Having said that, graduates also need to realize that, the dilemma that hotels have is when they come out as a graduate, they want to be managers. They want to have, that top position or something like that. But unfortunately, reality of this industry, or the tourism industry for that matter, is always starting from below and working yourself upwards.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cik Alim. Since that we gone through all the questions, I would like to ask one of our VVIP participant here, Tan Sri Muhammad Saleh. Is he still there? Tan Sri, are you still there, Tan Sri? Tan Sri Muhammad Saleh? Okay, it's all right. Okay, we move on the question. Okay, yes, Tan Sri. Is there any question that you want to ask, Tan Sri?
Muted, Tan Sri, your
Tan Sri,
microphone.
your mic is mute. Tan Sri, can you unmute, can?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Tan Sri. Good. Okay.
Well, congratulations to the organizers and to the speakers. It's a very interesting discussion. My question is related to ecotourism. How do you see the role of ecotourism or nature tourism in the country? Someone mentioned Taman Negara just now, but in Malaysia, so much wealth in biodiversity, in nature. Pulau Sepadan is iconic, How do you see these places playing a role in tourism as a whole? And are you preparing your students to do ecotourism guides? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tan Sri, for the question. So I think maybe Cik Uzaidi will take a question. Thank you, Cik Uzaidi.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A very good question, Tan Sri. I'm the fan of FRIM. I used to visit FRIM when you were there.
Thank
Okay?
you.
I'm a fan of FRIM. Tan Sri, ladies and gentlemen, ecotourism is actually one of the best assets we have. We don't need to promote we as a shopping center, the best shopping center in the world. We don't need to promote the best cities, the best the building, whatever. We can promote ecotourism because our ecotourism assets don't have, other countries don't have. You look at these other countries who are very successful organizing or promoting ecotourism. Costa Rica, nothing. They only promote, what? In their brochures, only promote what? Katak, a frog, or a little desserts. That's about it. And you can see the revenue that they generate through ecotourism is millions. And they provide all kind of the jobs to the locals. They don't need to have this timber logging everything practices. They focus on ecotourism. I believe ecotourism here in Malaysia is still best kept secret in Malaysia. We don't want to keep secret. There's no longer for us to keep secret. We need to explore it. We need to make sure that the world know that we are the best ecotourism destination. I think I believe, I agree with your what do you call it, your opinions, Tan Sri, that we need to prepare. We need to prepare. Our players mostly they are more conventional. They are promoting like 7 days, 6 night Langkawi or Redang. That's about it. There's no contents in the programs. We can, there's plenty of ecotourism assets. We have, Jabatan Hutan, which keeping all these assets. We have these, even the UNESCO has certified World Heritage in Lenggong. It's a huge area for us to explore, but not many people are promoting it. So we need the players. I think this is the best time during this downtime. It's the best time for us. In fact, from these 5 strategies, one of it is to reinvent the products. So this is the best time for us to reinvent the products so that they can, the high value tourists can come here. Not the low value, high tourists. When the high tourists come here, they'll be able to pay higher rates onto the hotels, to the accommodation, to the services. That's where the average room rates can be increased with the demand and supply, not just because of we are the cheapest. We cannot sell we are the cheapest anymore. We have the premium we are premium destinations. We need to sell contents. We need to sell experience. The tourist now needs experience. Ecotourism can offer a lot of experience, adventure lah, all kind of things glamping lah, everything. So I think it's a good strategy, Tan Sri. For us, we are looking forward to. Thank you.
I want to add that on, Tan Sri, as well, in Uzaidi. I had the opportunity to market the Mutiara Group in the early 2000s, and I had to look after all 6 Mutiara properties in terms of its sales and marketing. And I had a team of sales and marketing people in my corporate office, and obviously to sell a product, you must know the product. So I took a total of about 16 to 17 of my sales and marketing staff to Taman Negara. Many of them, I would say 95% have never been to Taman Negara, but they were supposed to sell Taman Negara. Okay. And before we left, waiting for the transportation and all that, many of them said, boss, do we really need to stay 3 nights, 4 days, boss? 2 nights enough lah kita balik, But by the time we got there, the journey from Sungai Tembeling, going up Sungai Tembeling, the boat ride and all that, and then we went through the entire package of Taman Negara. Some of them actually said to me, boss, can I extend stay? Because they've never encountered actually what ecotourism can be. And I think this is not only about the product suppliers, but actually the government changed its focus. After the 2004 tsunami in Phuket, which affected our country and many major countries as well, the focus changed. We used to have a lot of Scandinavian market, Holland. We used to have a majority of them who loves ecotourism. Okay. And we have green badge rangers and tour guides in the forest, whether it is Sarawak, Sabah, or the peninsula. These are very qualified rangers plus tour guides, yeah, to help the tourists as they go along, and they are from the area. So I think the government need to refocus instead of talking about shopping only or focusing on a certain market only. They need to reopen back, as how Uzaidi said, to the high level, high paying tourists, which are the Scandinavians, Europeans, the British. They love ecotourism. However, it has become very disjointed. It has become very, how do you call it? The focus is no more there from the Ministry of Tourism itself. And I think everybody needs to start pushing back and identify. And as you said, Zaidi, it's the downtime now. Let's refocus, realign, reset ourselves, take all the opportunities that are available in terms of marketing the nation as a destination and start putting it back on the map. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cik Uzaidi and Cik Alim. Does it answer your question, Tan Sri? Okay, yeah, Tan Sri? Nice of you to jump in, Tan Sri. Thank you very much. Okay, next, I would like to, I have a questions now, general questions from the participants. Number one from the Associate Prof. Dr. Haliza binti Muhammad Said. This question is to Cik Halim. While waiting for the industry to bounce back, how can our hoteliers friends and travel agents can stay insane? Some of the employers have to let go staff in order to strike a balance of staying afloat and survive the turbulence.
Okay, thank you for the question. Well, it is indeed a terrible situation to be in right now. Yeah. We see Europe opening. We look at how Australia is doing bubble travel between themselves and New Zealand, right? I believe that the time will come where travel will be possible again. But at the meantime, and I know this because from April 2020, I was acting president for MAH, and these were the sessions that we had with the tourism ministry and all stakeholders of tourism related. And the question was, how am I going to pay my transport company, the coaches? They take loans, finances to buy coaches. There are 20,000 coaches sitting in parking space, not moving. How are we going to pay salaries? Well, unfortunately, it's a situation where it's not only affected Malaysia but the world. I think what's important now here is the businesses have to realign themselves. They have to reset themselves. They got to relook and see whether what they used to do before and the business that used to tap before, is it relevant anymore? They need to use this period of time to start looking and using the resources that they have to come up with new ideas. Yeah. If you really look at how Europe has opened their doors for the summer holidays, and you can get it from the internet at how they are doing the travel bubble, and prepare yourself. In terms of hiring, they're hiring people like what they used to do in Club Med. They hire people to come and work, but at the same time give them a holiday and a salary. So that's how they increase the manpower. Yeah. And I know Perhentian Island, for instance, they do that. They got a lot of tourists going to Perhentian Island who actually work doing a waiter or waitress job, but at the same time, they're having a holiday. So think about realigning yourself. Do I need to start opening up the hiring process, or what do I do in my existing manpower? Are they only doing one thing now? Can they do more things? Right? For a very simple example, like my hotel in Penang, I said use WhatsApp Business and engage to Christopher Raj and say, Christopher, you are our guest. You used to stay with us. You know the hotel. Now, I would like you to be my general sales agent. I'm going to share with you a promotion. Now, you share that with your contact list. For every 10 rooms that you provide, you get a complimentary room. Okay? Something like that. But so it's about realigning of what you are to prepare yourself when the doors open. I know it's very difficult. It's easier said than done. But unfortunately, we cannot keep banging on the government's door to say, give me subsidy, give me grant, give me financial support. Because unfortunately, I think the government is running out of money as well. Right? So, we've brought these points up to the tourism ministry, and at the same time, our minister will just say, I will bring your point up to the relevant parties. So to stay sane, to be able to survive and ride this through, I think you've got to start writing your new way of doing business, realigning, resetting yourself, and finding out what sort of business you want to have in the future that will not bring you into a situation if this happens again. Yeah, Malaysia had that problem. We took every business from China. The minute China closed down, karam, everything failed. Correct, Uzaidi? Yeah.
Thank you,
So,
thank you very much.
Thank you. I
Alim.
don't know.
That
I hope that explains, but
Yep.
that would be a direction to go. Thank you.
Okay, I have another question here by Dr. Ainun Johari binti Abu Sama. Are the companies in Malaysian hospitality and tourism industry using or going into business analytics to capitalize, adapt to the new norm post-pandemic? This is maybe either Cik Alim or Cik Uzaidi or maybe Mr. Christopher Rush. This is quite in-depth. So maybe Cik Alim can go for it. Cik Alim?
That data analytic is the way to go, to be honest. Somebody asked this question about CRM earlier, is it relevant to use CRM in the current situation? It is definitely. Data analytics is for you to know who are your business, where are your business coming from, right? Where should I focus spending my marketing costs, right? By using this data, I strongly urge those who are not doing it should do it already. Tourism industry has this tendency of when we do a business plan for the following year budget, your director of sales and marketing will come up with a business plan, which is unfortunately many a times a cut and paste. They cut from the last year budget plan and they bring forward to the next year. But don't give me 25 plans, give me 3 or 5 that works. Because if you give me 25, I cannot focus. But you can only do that by having data. You can only do that when you have data analytics. And this is where I say earlier to the universities, you should already teach in the university about data analytics. What do I do with the data I have? Who can I reach out to using that data? Right? Otherwise, you are just shooting blind. You are just having so much information with you, but you don't know how to analyze what to do with it. And so the answer is yes, it's very important for the industry. And hoteliers need to learn that. Hoteliers must learn to do that because that's core to the business.
Yes, thank you very much, Alim. I have another question here from my colleague actually, Cik Nur Safriman binti Abdul Rahman. He was asking about post-pandemic, do you see hotels do more outsourcing for not just their marketing and sales? And do you see hotels hiring only contract workers? And what is the future of the independently owned hotels or B&B versus chain hotel? Maybe Cik Halim or maybe Mr. Chris would like to answer.
Mr. Raj first.
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Raj, yeah.
Can you repeat the question one more time if you don't mind?
Okay. Oh, no problem. Okay, the question by Cik Safriman binti Abdul Rahman. Post-pandemic, do you see hotels do more outsourcing or not just their marketing and sales? And do you see hotels hiring only contract workers? That's another question. The second question is, what is the future of independently owned hotels or B&B versus chain hotel?
Okay, that's 3 questions actually. Okay.
Yeah, it's 3.
Okay, when you talk about outsourcing, of course, when you go through this pandemic, people are looking at the expenses, and everyone is looking at how can you cut the expenses, so when you outsource, why do they outsource? Let me justify the outsourcing. The outsourcing is done because, you know, you are not so certain about what is your business going to be like. For example, if I'm going to, you know, we don't know when business get back to normal, when is it going to come back to normal? When I am not very sure of it, the best thing that I would do is outsource, you know, so that, you know, I can cut that expenses anytime I want. But of course, as the business comes back to normal, of course, it's going to be, you know, you would want to have more permanent people working for you than to depend on the outsourcing. And let me tell you, in Malaysia and hotel industry, why do they outsource? For example, housekeeping. We cannot get locals to come and work in the housekeeping department. Nobody wants to come and work in the housekeeping department, you know. And all major hotels have problems. That's the reason why they go to this, you know, foreign labor, which is outsourced, and they do use all this type of thing, which is, I think, it's not right. I think we have to. Halim will agree with me that, you know, we have to re-engineer the names again. You know, when we call them house cleaners, they don't want to come. We call them housekeeping attendants, they don't want to come. You know, but I tell you, these are all good paying jobs. These are all good jobs. But unfortunately, the reality on the ground is you can't get locals for this job. And that is one of the reasons why you have so many foreigners who are working in this country. You know, I tell you, the legal numbers is about 2 million, and probably the illegal numbers is probably double the number. You know, and that is something that before the pandemic, we are fighting so hard, you know, to control the foreign labor. So that answers your first question. And as I said, all these things, to answer the second and the third one, as I said, it all depends on how fast our doors are going to be open. Okay, to answer this question, outsourcing, and, you know, what was the second question? Sorry, I almost. The second question is.
Okay, wait. The second question, right? Okay, the second question. Post-pandemic, do you see hotels do out more outsourcing? That I think you already answered, not just their marketing and sales. And do you see hotels hiring only contract workers?
I think I answered that as well.
Okay, and the second question, what is the future, Mr. Chris? What is the future of the independently owned hotels or B&B versus chain?
Yeah, when they go outside contracts, it's mainly because one of the things why they do that outside contract is because they're not sure. And, you know, if you got a long-term need for it, then the hotels will not do outsourcing. It's cheaper for you to recruit directly than to do outsourcing. When you do outsourcing, it's like, for example, let me explain. When I employ somebody, when I know I got my occupancy booked for 70%, and I need people for 70% occupancy, it's better for me to recruit and have somebody who's you know, there, can handle the 70% occupancy instead of me depending on a contract. Why do I do a contract? Is because I feel that, oh, next month I'm going to get 90% occupancy. The following month, the occupancy is dropping to 50%. So what do I do? How do I deal with that sudden hype of 50% to 70%? I go for contract labor. So I think that is how the businessman thinks. You know, when you're looking at his manning and his prospects of the business, it all based on, because the hotel do forecasting of business at least 6 months ahead. So that, you know, it's not but if you, and whenever you do your manning, we only man people for, say, average of 55% to 60% occupancy. So when you run 100% occupancy and suddenly that becomes a trend, then of course, obviously you depend on contract laborers and things like that for you to help out during the high occupancy time. But it's not that you're going to take a contract labor and throughout the year you're going to use contract labor. I think that's a wrong perception. I think answer your second question.
Yeah. I think I can take on the answer about between the independent hotel and Airbnb. I think we have to realize Airbnb is considered a new way of accommodation for leisure travelers or businessmen. It's not new, actually. To be honest, you know, when I used to go for my trade shows in London, you know, we used to rent apartments in the Bayswater areas or Lancaster Gate area, which was similar to that. You actually contacting an agent and you do a short-term leasing of the apartment. So that's the concept of what Airbnb is about. Now, Airbnb, unfortunately, in Malaysia has been very disruptive. Yeah, and that's why the Association of Hotels, whether it's MAIBA, MAHO, or MA, have written into the ministry. And what is happening now is they have actually done a paper that needs to be passed in Parliament. But unfortunately, Parliament has been suspended because of this emergency. Kan? So basically what we are saying is Airbnb can exist, but you pay the same fees, taxes, and also abide to the same requirements for how hotels are operating. Yeah. So if they want to operate, they can. However, be equal to how hotels have to pay all our costs and etc. etc. You have to remember one thing: accommodation is a choice. Our tourists, our businessmen, they will have a choice of whether they want to go for hotel or Airbnb. But there are a few issues that you need to realize. Airbnb doesn't have security, doesn't have certain SOPs, right, as compared to hotel. Yeah, it may be cheaper, it may not be cheaper, right? But if somebody who would like to be spoiled to get the services when they come to a hotel, then obviously those are the people who will continue to come to hotel. If you're traveling on budget and you feel that having Airbnb and no frills, this is like low cost flight, no frills, right? Similar, okay? So there will be, whether the hotels will survive against the Airbnb, definitely. There will be, without a doubt, that it will continue to survive because of the choice that's available for the customers. Okay.
Thank you very much, Cik Alim. We have another 5 minutes. We have one more last question actually for Cik Uzaidi by Cik Zahar Muhammad Ziad. He was asking, what are some aspects that the rural communities can focus on to bounce back on their tourism after the COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay, right. Okay, in terms of rural communities, in fact, Malaysia, most of the good products actually rural based. You're talking about agro-tourism, the durian Musang King durian, actually a rural in the rural area. You're talking about adventure, also in the base rural. You're talking about cultural, actually rural based. Actually, rural based are the essence of these our products. It's not only the city but the rural area. I think we need to make sure that the local communities can benefit from this rural tourism. There's no point for us to promote the tourism, but the local did not benefit from the whatever activities, whatever income that we receive from the tourists. The local community must benefit. That's why that's our main agenda is to make sure the local benefit first. That's why we try to promote homestay. We try to promote kampung stay. We try to promote activities, waterfall, the sungai lah, mandi sungai lah, or mandi bunga lah. All actually rural based activities. And this is one of the agenda that which our strategy based on 5R. To reinvent product, we need to reinvent product. So local, what do you call it, rural activities or products comes right very nicely under the reinvent product. But how to promote? That's why we need to remodel how to promote, how to do marketing, how to write on technology. We don't want the homestay using the old style, using the phone, via phone, booking via phone. Pakcik-pakcik ada ke bilik esok ni, bilik homestay. We need all to be digitalized. We need to make sure that the system is in place. And we also need to make sure that the regulations on agile, we make sure that the homestay is actually benefiting on whatever promotion budgets. We need to make sure that the regulations are actually in place, to make sure that agile regulation be in place. During this COVID-19, we need a lot of agile regulation. So that's why rural is one of the agenda, rural promotion, rural tourism is one of our agenda. We hope belia-belia, makcik Kiah yang jual goreng pisang tu will benefit from this a new method of this new tourism that we want to promote it in Malaysia, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Cik Zadi. That was a good answer. Okay, now maybe we have come to the end of the event. Before that, maybe I would like to invite Cik Halim to give some speech before we end our event. Welcome.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you, Amri. Okay, I mean, first of all, I do see a lot of questions being posted in the on screen. Yeah, on the screen. For those that are not able to be answered, what we will do, Amri, is we will take the questions and we will actually reply back. Yeah.
Yes.
To those questions. Okay. And I apologize if you are not able to answer all the questions, right? Yeah. At the same time, I'd like to thank Christopher Raj and Uzaidi for being part of this inaugural talk. You know, I think it's been what do you call it, exciting. Yeah. I think the next talk we'll do is a bit more of like a hard talk that we can actually, you know, argue with each other on certain points that we highlight, because then it becomes a real situation. Yeah. At the same time, I would like to thank the Dr. Professor Muhammad Hassan, Dean of UNITA International, and also the team of Amris and his team for preparing this. Yeah. They've worked quite hard on this to make sure that it's a success. Actually, it is part of the students' experience in the university to come up with programs like this or talks like this in order for them to be able to get to be used to the situation of virtual scenario. Yeah, so to the team, congratulations, Irfan and gang. Yeah, Alan and all, congratulations. So I do hope that the last 2.5 hours that we've been discussing, talking about the current scenarios of the situation amidst the pandemic, but more importantly, the question on human resources in the tourism and hospitality industry vis-a-vis the graduates who are expected to continue in the hospitality and tourism faculty, that there is jobs still available in this industry. Although times are a bit difficult now, I see some questions about, is there internships or apprenticeship programs, or is there a job after I graduate? As how Christopher explained, it is a people-centric. We need people to work. I only have a word of advice to graduates, yeah, that, you know, this is an industry that you've chosen. You've spent 3 years of your life studying about the management of hospitality or tourism. But you need to realize in this industry, each one of us here and many more that I see who are part of the audience have started from below. We have started and grew up in the industry to be where we are now. And it's an industry that you gain experience, that you gain knowledge in order for you to grow in the industry. Yeah. So yes, you spent 3 years, you spent a lot of money studying the topic, you graduated, and now I want a high paying job. Yeah. Well, it will come. Trust me. It will come. But you need to set targets. You need to set goals in order for you to achieve that target and work that plan. Okay. So for the rest, I see some industry people out there questioning about what is MOTEC doing, what is the Malaysian Association of Hotels doing with regards to improving the industry. I strongly believe that amongst the associations, they are working together with the ministry, the government, MOF, Human Resource Ministry, to come up with a method to align ourselves in hoping for the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes, and we see it coming pretty soon once we are able to achieve herd immunity, that then we realign ourselves into expecting the new business, the rebound of the industry. Okay, So with that, once again, I thank everybody who has participated, who has attended, the questions that you've put in, the speakers, and everybody. And UNITA International, thank you very much for this opportunity for us to discuss. And I ask that you all stay safe and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cik Halim, for the inspiring speech just now. Before we end our session for today, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank all the panelists, especially our adjunct professor Cik Halim, Mr. Christopher Raj, and so Cik Uzaidi. I would like also to thank my members, especially my colleague Tuan Haji Said Munir, Madam Munira, Miss Azrin, and Madam Rohaizah, for helping me on this project. And last but not least, my beloved student, my final bachelor student, consists of Mr. Tausif, Miss Ellen, Irfan, and others who have been working hard on this. Before we end the event, I would like the participant to complete the attendance form and the survey feedback for the event. Thank you very much. Let's have a photo session with our honorable speakers. Please open your video for the session. Maybe all of you can open
everybody,
your videos.
Let's do it.
Please
everybody.
open your videos.
Oh, Cik Aziz. Good afternoon, Cik Aziz, our chapter chairman from Negeri Sembilan. Assalamualaikum.
Oh, Alhamdulillah. Very good. Very good. We have from Negeri Sembilan. Tuan Haji is here.
I saw Christina To as well there. Thank you very much for attending.
Very good. Please open your camera. And we're going to do a photo session. Okay, thanks. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Smile. Okay, thank you.
Thumbs up.
All right, thumbs up. Yes, thank you. With that, we end our session today. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Please stay safe and always follow the SOP, guys. Wear your mask. Kita jaga kita. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tuan Amri. Thank you.
All the best to all of you, everybody.
Thanks, Christopher, Uzaidi.